Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a new toy. I basically just went to Evike.com's Alhambra Superstore and couldn't help myself but picking this up. Now I have a huge amount of airsoft pistols, as you're probably aware if you follow the channel, but this one is actually like a brand I don't have, FN Hurstel, or what it's copied off. It's made by VFC and this is their FNX-45, like their full-size tactical 45. The reason I wanted this one is because I actually was looking for like a pistol that's a bit different. I really like my P320 from VFC. However, like it's just not performed. It actually recently has performed very well, but generally it hasn't performed that well in terms of like actually finishing the mags for gas. But the actual like action of it, how it feels, the externals of it is all awesome. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they do another kind of different style pistol, not the Glocks, which I know everyone's like, oh, Glocks are so boring. I love Glocks. It's what I always get. So it's kind of like, it's one of those that I wanted something a bit different. And actually what I did see that they did, which is in here, I did have a little peek at it while I was in the shop, is this one is actually like an OD green color, which you can't normally get. But I don't know if you've seen Evike. Sometimes what they'll have is almost like a section of like Cerakoted versions. So they've like done Cerakoting on them. And this is one that they've done as a Cerakote. Now it's not obviously a very complex Cerakote. It's kind of just like all green. So I actually wear a lot of like Ranger Green when I'm playing inside. If I'm not playing outside in Southern California, I generally will go like Ranger Green, like in terms of like what I'm wearing, in terms of my battle belt, my plate carrier, all of that. And so when I saw this, I was like, that's kind of cool. Plus, normally these, when they're Cerakoted, like their other like colors are like $400. They're like 170 like stock. Then they're going up to like $400 once they've Cerakoted them. This one was slightly reduced and it was only $200. So for an extra like $25, $30, I basically got like a Cerakoted version of this. Which I was like, actually, that's kind of cool. It's a 45, which I don't have. I've got like all 9mm. And I've just always kind of thought about this pistol. I'm like, it kind of looks quite cool. It's definitely bigger in the hand than I kind of thought it would be. The sights on it are pretty awesome, like very, very raised sights. I actually wanted to get a red dot to put on here. I spoke to the guy at the counter and I was like, hey, like what fits on here? Do I need to get an adapter plate? Do I need to get anything like that? He was like, I'm not sure. So actually waited for it until they brought it out and we worked out that you need to get an adapter plate on here for an RMR, actual like to put a red dot on here. They didn't have one in stock. They do have one on like Red Wolf Airsoft, which is in Hong Kong. So I've actually ordered one of those. It's very cheap. It's like $10, but you need to actually order it to get it. $15. I think you need to order it to get it. So that's kind of annoying, but I was like, there's no point in me like buying a red dot now to put on there that I can't fit on there. So I have ordered that and I will be putting a red dot on this. So let me know in the description, or sorry, in the comments, like what do you think I should put on here? Looks like in the box, it also comes with a different back plate, or actually it looks like it's exactly the same. So it's like another back plate that almost looks identical. I don't know why they would give you two of the same. Oh no, this is a flatter one. So if you see here, the profile on this one is flat. The profile on this one has a curve. I don't know which I'll prefer. Can I try these out? How do I remove? It looks like I'm gonna have to work this out to do it. But it's actually like, it's weird because it kind of like overlaps there. I presume because it's got like an actual like hook for a lanyard here, that it's not just going to slide straight off. You're going to have to actually do something to push it in. And that might be a screw that goes through that hole. So I'll work that out after this video. This is more of an unboxing. In fact, I'm going to put some parts together. We're going to kind of work it out in this video. So it might be a bit longer. You know, I'm just like making this up on the fly. But the feel of this is really cool. The trigger, mushy. Like, to be honest, I was kind of hoping this would be a lot. It's like a dual action trigger, so you can just pull and it kind of like retracts the hammer and goes. But it very much feels like an M9 trigger to me. We'll see how it performs when I've actually got like a mag with gas in it. But it's definitely like a bigger feeling pistol. Like it feels pretty chunky in the hand, this thing. Not in a bad way, like kind of in a good way, not like fat, but like just like very solid, like this whole front end. Probably let's get an idea of like size wise. Okay, well that is a Desert Eagle. It's obviously going to be smaller than that. I mean, it's smaller, but it's not like noticeably smaller. You know what I mean? I mean, it is noticeably smaller, but it's not like insanely smaller than a Desert Eagle. So I'd say you're getting close to there. It is a 45. My P320, which I do really like, this just feels a lot more compact. Like you can see there, it's just fatter. It's bigger. I mean, again, it's not massively bigger, but the slide is definitely something that feels a lot more chunky. Just a lot less, just a lot more girth to it. It is nice though. I have to say, like, that is a really nice action. It feels very like solid. This actual like button here, the mag release is very inset. Like there's kind of like a ridge that goes over the top here. So when you're pushing it with your thumb, it's quite hard to hit it unless you're intentionally doing it, which I think is good. But obviously it's like the opposite of like a flared mag release, like completely the opposite, where you're having to really like find where it is. So I think if you're used to it and you have the muscle memory, that's all good. But it might take a bit of like getting used to it in a bit of time. Other than that, it has got this on it, which is your horrible orange flash hider. But what I've actually done is this barrel does not have the orange on it. And I think they may have Cerakoted it, because when I looked at the actual like other version, it looked like this had a plastic version of this on, or it had like an orange painted threading, and this doesn't have that. So what I actually did, which I kind of don't know if I regret it now, but I actually bought, no, I don't regret it. I bought a, sorry, well, actually let's compare it quickly to the Glock 34. Because that's probably, I think, the most comparable. Yeah, that's going to be probably the most comparable there. Like a Glock 34. It basically feels very similar, even more bulky, just like top heavy than this Glock 34 that I've got. So that's, yeah, it is nice though. It's definitely like a nice feeling. Like the safety is pretty horrible. Not horrible, but it's just hard to engage. But what I ended up buying was a whole load of goodies for it. Obviously, I'm kind of annoyed that I couldn't get the red dot, because that's what was going to kind of complete this build, not complete the build, but this was going to be the main part of the build. So I'm going to have to wait for that to arrive. That'll be another video where I install this actual red dot on here. What I got is I got 3 mags. So these are mags for it. Unfortunately, it's not like it takes kind of other mags. They've got these weird kind of base plates on them, which actually is kind of cool when it's on there. If you look there. Kind of similar dimensions to a Glock mag, I would say. Looks like they're going to be easy to load, like just drop straight in the top here in terms of the BBs. Fill valves on the back, which is good. And I feel like if you dropped this, like it's rounded and it's not gonna risk snapping in the like the back on the bottom plate like you do with those Glock mags. And also the fill valve's not at the bottom, which I think is a big advantage. So I got 3 mags, so let's get those out because might as well. They don't come with any O-rings or anything. It's just boxes with the mags in there. But I'm definitely happy. Like you can get this, I think, from them in a black, which to me is quite boring. You get it in a tan, and then you can also get it in like a 2-tone, like black and tan. Either way, I think you can get a tan slide with a black bottom or a tan bottom with a black slide. I do like that it's got 45 ACP written on the top there. It's pretty cool. And then, so we got 4 mags total. I then also got a holster set for it. So I got one of my QLS forks, which I'm going to attach with this, hopefully, this EMG holster. Unfortunately, this one does have kind of like a bowed bottom to it, so I don't think I'm going to be able to run a suppressor, but we'll figure that out later on as well. I also got this because I thought that those threads were going to be painted. So this is just a replacement barrel. So I could switch this out if I wanted to. Again, it's got that 45 ACP written on the top there. I can do this straight away, which is what I'll end up doing, which is why I'm not that upset that I've done that, because now I've got the proper thread protector that's going to go on there, and that just looks a lot cooler. So that can go in the bin straight away. We don't need that. Other thing that I got for it actually is an inner barrel, because actually like this is just like a meant for this size, and it's like a 6.01 millimeter. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to be taking it apart and changing out the outer barrel, which I'm now not doing, I'll do the inner barrel as well. And then it also came with, or it didn't come with, I bought a 130% tunable steel spring guide. So that's going to hopefully increase the spring on it. So what I'm going to do to start with is actually build the holster, so we can see if this is going to work properly. I love these QLS mounts. They're my favorite. I have them for everything. We'll put basically a Kydex holster onto every single, a QLS mount onto every single Kydex holster. So this fits. It does, but it's tight. Okay, so we're going to have to release that slightly. I got this morning as well, which I'm quite excited about, which I might do another video on if you guys want, but it's a T-shaped wrench. And that means that I can literally use it, put the thing in there, use it that way. I can put it in here, use it that way if I want like some more space. I can kind of do a lot of different stuff, which I was quite excited about. And we'll see if that actually ends up becoming something that is good. But I think this would be a cool one, how I could kind of do that and then also turn. We'll see. I don't know, because my issue a lot of the time is having like a longer version of this where I'm actually going to be able to like get down into spaces and then have the leverage as well to do stuff. So let's actually loosen this slightly and just make sure this fits nicely before we go through the rigmarole of, right, wrong way. So I think probably I just need to loosen this a little bit. It sits in. It's not like it actually like clamps that well, to be honest. Like that won't come out and that's fine. So we'll keep it like that, but it's definitely not quite as perfect and refined as I was thinking it was going to be. It's also rubbing on this Cerakote, which shouldn't be an issue because it's Cerakote and it shouldn't come off in that way. But that is rubbing there. Suppressor wise, yeah, I think it's going to be very hard to get a suppressor into this thing. Okay, cool. So let's remove this because I'm hoping EMG, basically the ones that they have, the EMG style holsters go onto this weird circular like platform or this weird circular mounting bracket, which I just really don't want because I don't want to use that on my own. I use QLS forks for everything because I just want to have a QLS base that's located on my battle belt or my drop leg or wherever I've got it, and then I want just QLS forks so I can just like put them in and out on everything. So we're going to have a look and see. I'm hoping, and the guy wasn't sure if this was going to fit, but I'm hoping that three little pieces is going to basically go into those three holes on here. So then I can just kind of use this like that. And as I said, we're going to see if that works. And I'm really hoping it is. Just loosen that slightly. Okay, so let's go with the last one. Take it off. And then we can... Got babies crying outside. Sorry, my son's here with a load of friends in the garden. I think that should fit, and I'm hoping. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, so should we see if these fit the same? We want that to go in here. Which ones are we doing? We're going to do the... I think we're going to go with this one and this one. Okay, this one's going to go here. And I think this isn't going to be long enough, but we'll see. Because I do have some hardware that will go with this. Actually, that should be fine. Let's go that way. So we'll just loosely put that in. We'll do the same with this one. I am looking for like a good universal holster that's going to fit like this, my Glock 34, the P320, like other things that are going to work. So if you guys know of one that is actually good, like retention wise, because I know that you do give that up. You know, it's like okay, if I want to have something that's universal, then it's not going to grip all holsters as well, because it needs to be flexible in that way. But I am looking for one that's going to kind of do something like that. So if there's one out there you guys know of, I'd really appreciate you letting me know in the comments. Okay, so that is going to be there. And then I think this is going to mean that right there, I'm going to have this to pull. I'm already thinking I don't necessarily like the angle on that. I kind of have it facing forward as opposed to facing backwards, but I can switch that if I want to. We'll just have to do that once I test it. Okay, that. Okay, so now I'm going to leave this, which is the proper QLS pieces. That's fitting in there fine. That is rubbing on there though. I mean, it's going to get rubbed and worn because it's an airsoft pistol, so I shouldn't really worry about that. Okay, so that is done. Get rid of that. We can get rid of this for now. Now what we're going to need to do is disassemble this. That I can throw away also. What we'll do now is just disassemble this, and I presume, I've never actually taken apart an FNX before, but I presume it's just going to be a kind of retract the slide, push this piece in, and rotate it. Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. I see. And then pull the top off. Very similar to a Glock, or to, well, similar-ish to a Glock. I'm going to take this off, which is going to be this front cap. I do really like this green, I have to say. Okay, so this should be a pretty easy change in terms of the retention for the, what is it called? The slide rack there. This has got some wear on it, so maybe I will change that barrel. I don't know if I should change it or not, or keep it. Maybe let's just take this inner barrel out, or the inner barrel piece. Oh, I need to remove that spring first before I snap it. Okay, there we go. That was close. I almost pulled that spring too hard. I think I did pull it too hard, so we'll have to see if I can push that back together. But that's the current hop chamber and inner barrel. I'm going to try and change this inner barrel. I'm going to probably leave the hot rubber where it is. So I'm hoping this shouldn't be too tough. I've definitely stretched that spring though, which was a very rookie move. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get the wrench. We'll do a smaller screwdriver. Open this guy up. What we're going to do is we're going to try it this way. We'll see if this is any easier. That's better. Okay, other one. I don't want to lose parts or springs, as I always do, apart from the fact that I already stretched that one. Okay, to let this one out slightly more. Okay, we have 2 springs, and actually we have this one Tigris mat here, so I'm going to put the actual screws right there. Open this up gently. It's got the hop tensioner in place, which I'm just going to peel off gently. Like that. I'm then going to take out the inner barrel. We're going to get the new one. Open it very ceremoniously with my teeth. Get this plastic off here. Now this is a 6.01. I normally actually, if I'm doing gas blowbacks at the moment, I'm doing like a 6.03 is more where I'm really wanting to be doing stuff. Okay, so let's just make sure this is going to be the right size. This one's from Angel Custom. Okay, so let's just make sure we've got that on the top. I'm going to remove this and put this on here. Okay, so that seems good. That one's got some pretty hot, horrible like gunk in it, weirdly. Okay, well, we'll move that to the side. I'm going to put this back in. That's sitting nicely. Okay, that's in there nicely now. And then we're going to basically hook this guy in here. Rotate him back around. So then that's in place. And I think that's good. That seems good to me. Okay, so then we're just going to put this guy back on top here. This spring is annoying where I've stretched it and then dropped it. I've actually just dropped that spring, which is like always the thing I do, and it's the worst thing I could do. Okay, so it didn't bounce too far, I don't think. I'm going to quickly... Okay. Don't worry, guys, I found it. Famous last words. I found it. Okay, so this is going to go back here. You can see here how much I've stretched it, which isn't great. Okay, so I'm going to put that back there. That when it is going... It's actually going to be the wrong way if it's faced like that. Good thing I checked it. Okay, that's where it's going to go because it's going to hook back into that piece, right? So now I'm going to close this up. And that should now be fine. I'm just going to put the screws in. But hopefully this barrel will give it just a lot more consistency and accuracy. It was one of those things where probably I wouldn't bother doing it, especially to start with, unless I noticed a problem. And then I kind of was like, okay, well, it's worth me just doing if I'm opening this up and going to do certain things. I thought I was going to have to take the orange tip out, and that would have been the big issue that you have with these. Okay, so now if I tighten this, oh, we do have an issue. Okay, this isn't sitting fully into that spot, so I need to remove this again and just sit that. Just rotate the barrel slightly. There we go. Okay, that's better. Right, so that little nub was just sitting misaligned. As always, guys, let me know if there's any questions as I'm doing this, as you're watching in the live, or if you just have questions afterwards in the chat. Again, this just isn't sitting fully in there. If you look there, you can see this kind of angle there where it's just not going to actually let the BB feed through, I don't think. Okay, there we go. I've pushed that forward slightly and that now seems fine. Okay, that's better. Right, so now if I do this and I increase the hop, yep, that's there. If I decrease the hop, yeah, that's working well. Okay, we're all good on that. I'll turn this down a little bit. Okay, so now I can look at this, which is going to be the other recoil rod, the 130% spring. So it should just make it kick harder, which I love recoil, so I'm always going to want something kicking harder. It has got this other spring in here as well, which I think it's the hammer spring. And I'm not going to install that now just because I can't be bothered to take apart the lower and do that. I think that's just going to be in that location there. Trying to see where it is. I can do that in a future video for you guys if you want to see it. This is actually not needing... Sorry, not needing too much lubrication, it doesn't look like. But what I'm going to do is put this back in. Do you know, we're going to put it in the newer replacement barrel. Although this has been... I'm going to put it on the newer one. Like you can see here though, it's almost like there's a different color to the two. And this one is scratching. Otherwise I'd have been like, okay, well they have Cerakoted that one, so maybe I should keep it with that one. This one just looks a bit more matte, so I'm going to try and do it. I hate getting these inner barrels back in because it's always like a weird squeeze that you're doing. And sometimes have to get a hammer out to do it because it's kind of just like a off center. There we go. Okay, well, actually that one went in pretty easily. Okay, right, so now I'm just going to need to get... I'm going to grab this little guy to hook it. There's a tiny little hex key in here. It's probably the smallest one I've ever seen. And I'm just going to take that spring top there. I'm going to hook it on the inside, even though I stupidly pulled it too hard. So it should hopefully keep it in place. Even though I definitely have pulled that too hard. So we'll see how that fares. I might need to end up getting a replacement for that. Okay, and then we are going to put this back into the actual body, or the upper. That's going to go in there. And then I am going to put in this turnable or tunable recoil rod. I think it's just going to be that you can basically twist this or put more shims in it effectively. And what I'm probably going to do actually is remove some of the shims on it because it looks like there's too many. How we do that though is another question. No, actually the length of it's just more. So maybe we'll just go with it and we'll see. It does look a bit weird. Like you can see there, you've got the protrusion coming out the end here. And I don't know if, let's try and see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we'll have to take it apart and do it again. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. Going to put that back in place. How are we doing this previously? Okay, I'll push that back. And it does stick out a bit further, but it does also feel really good. I just want to alleviate that. I want to alleviate that give. If I can get rid of that give somehow, then I think I'm good. Just wondering, there isn't a way to tune this trigger, is there? It's almost got like a little lever in there. And I was thinking, oh, can you kind of do something and tune it? And that might be the case, but it might not be. So we'll do that. We'll leave it for now. I'm just going to actually do this here. Put this on. We'll rotate that. Okay, now I've got it jammed. Okay, I've now got this stuck, which is great, and I don't know why. If you look here, I've actually ended up somehow getting this thing stuck here. I don't know how I've done that. Literally rammed it, and it's now stuck in position. Okay, so okay, let me work this out. I'm going to pause it 1 second. I'll work it out and I'll tell you what I did. Okay, I don't really know what I did there actually. I just kind of like jiggled it slightly and it seemed to come loose. So I'm not really sure what I did there. In terms of priming this, okay. So I'm just going to keep it unprimed for now. And just try and return this back in. That's all in place. I'm having a real issue getting this thing back together now. I actually had a similar issue with the, what was it, the M&P9 SM, this salient arms one. Okay, so that's in. Let's try that. Okay, turn this back in here, and again I've got it stuck. No, there we go. Okay, so that is fine. Seemed like maybe that barrel was just sticking a little bit too far forward. You can see now I've got the inner barrel that's in there. It is quite recessed. But that is the upgrades that are done for this. Any gas in here? No. I'm going to quickly just actually... Oh, that mag wasn't sitting in there right there. It is now. So that could have just been that ridge. Where is it catching the mag? Oh, so it's catching the mags on a tiny little ridge here, which means probably... if you wear those down on the mags, I bet that that could be an issue. Right, guys, so that is basically it. I'm going to show you quickly. I'll show you how it fires. This actual just mag itself, this holster itself is not great, but it will work. So when I've got that there, No, I'm going to put on my, I'll put on the battle belt quickly and I'll fill this with gas and I'll be back just to give you a final close. Okay, so I've got the battle belt on and I'm just going to quickly put some gas in this mag and we can have a look at its dry fire. Putting like pistol 110 PSI. I'll do a full video reviewing this thing and we'll do some shooting tests and chrono, etc. But let's have a look at what this thing, there we go. Okay, it's actually really, really snappy. It is holding back that mag, but that first one didn't, or felt like it didn't. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I do like it for sure. This is it now. I have it in the holster here. So it's a quick draw. This is just not a great holster, I wouldn't say. It's the EMG one. But I think it's a pretty cool looking pistol. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you are good wherever you are. Let me know if you have any questions and what you want me to do and show you with this FN-45X pistol from VFC. All right, guys, bye-bye.